372 Gaming. So, in today's episode, I'm really sorry about all the big black blobs all across the screen. These are actually there to protect the anonymity of where I am farming. So, yeah, obviously, if you do know where I'm farming or if you find it out, if you pop a reference to it in the comments, I will be removing your comment immediately, right? Just for a big hint. Right, so let's continue on to the next part of this. So let's talk about the current work meta of Eve Echoes. So Eve Echoes has a major problem for new players, and that is the tech level catch-up program. The tech levels that are low do not allow you to fly high level ships. That means that your growth in terms of income is regulated by your ability to hold Omega, and Omega is not an easy system to actually hold all the time. As such, a lot of alliances and a lot of companies have members who stay below the T7 mark all the time. So yeah, that is something really sad to look at. And honestly, the tech level locking out under Omega, it is quite helpful for very powerful members, but it is not very helpful for the weaker members of companies. And it is something which was definitely looked at in the negative. However, as I have exposed, it is quite easy to actually earn considerable amounts of ISK within a matter of days. In less than 10 days, I have made over a billion ISK. And if there is anything to look at, well, there are other places in the game where you can make this billion ISK every 10 days. So yeah, let's get on to the rest of this crazy story. So moving on to the next part of the insanity that is Eve Echoes, we're going to talk about something really important again, and that is where we need to go as players to actually form up and hold up our skill levels. Unfortunately, I can't show you anything in that manner on this particular page. I already knew I couldn't show you, which is why I recorded this fight to actually cover this information. Where can you get quick SP? Now, SP can be gained in 3 separate areas of the game. Number 1, from Omega Duo. One of the best ways for you to get SP is to have Omega Duo because it adds an additional 30 to your Omega stack. The next thing is cognitive implants. Regardless of whether you have Omega Duo or whether you do not have Omega, if you have cognitive implants, they can take you up to 45 SP being earned per day. Now, that is quite a bit because someone who has no cognitive implants and basic Omega earns SP at the exact same rate. So yeah, there is another thing to know about when it comes to the game. So those are your 3 main focuses on earning quick SP. The next key issue or key aspect that can earn you quick SP within Eve Echoes is going to be the Concord Pass. Now, I actually had planned to actually make a video purely with the Concord Pass, but it turned out to be really difficult to just cover the Concord Pass on its own. The Concord Pass doesn't encounter too many fields, and it does refresh within a certain number of days each time to start a new Concord Pass. The last 10 levels are locked behind a paywall, and that could be seen as a negative, but I also do not see it as a negative myself, because they did say that once you pass level 81, you will earn rewards from that particular level of earning. So yeah, there is something else to look at. Alright, so beyond that, I've already given you one place where you can pull out quite a bit of Omega. Within the Concord Pass, there is approximately 500,000 points to harvest out of it. Obviously, this will take several weeks before you even reach a point where it is worthy enough to count as its own separate field. So you have to think about it across that there. You're going to have to work 3 weeks for 500,000 SP points. It's going to be worth it at the end of the day. It costs 5,000 to reset a single field. So say for example you have a mining field and you're a ratter, you can always turn it to bounties because bounties are something you earn all the time. If you are ratting in HiSec, 3 million in bounties isn't what you're really getting. You're getting 2 million in bounties, and you can score up to 6 million with the basic Omega active, just like what you saw me do. So yeah, there is something else for you to think of on the grand total of the game. Okay. Thinking about the next part of this, I really have to I really have to think about quite a bit of this because it's quite difficult to just open-endedly say anything about this because it's not as simple as I'd like it to be. What else was there that I wanted to talk about? Okay, right. So the next method of acquiring SP beyond these three is actually a straight up cash purchase. And I know this doesn't sound good or bode well for a lot of people, but standard cash purchases will earn you quite a bit of XP. You could also do the tutorials within the game. Altogether, if I am correct from all the tutorials, you get about 250,000 SP. So 250,000 plus whatever you can purchase from your Omega link up. Like right now, there's the 270 days where you get a considerable amount of rewards for just having those as your active pieces. That makes a big difference to the total of whatever you're bringing to uh, whatever you're bringing to the front, right? I know I'm not being very clear on everything. It's just very difficult to explain it all without going through it in pieces, and it is quite difficult for me to honestly say all of this here because it was so much to pack together that I really struggled with it for most of the time, right? The next thing to note about all of these is the fact that some of the pieces that I'm talking about from gains in terms of um, in terms of SP and as such. Sorry, I'm really struggling. Some of the gains in terms of overall performance in the game do not relate to what a person is capable of. The next thing that you can do, besides having all of these up together, which will shorten your time between levels, is actually to earn any free SP that comes through in events. Events generally drop quite a lot of SP, and if you look for your missions and tasks, now obviously this is from tutorial tasks and not from mission tasks and encounters. If you look for them carefully, you will find that a lot of them actually have pieces towards your progression. And when I say pieces towards your progression, I mean they can give you a severe boost towards the total SP that you hold in game. Now, obviously, this here may not seem very important to a lot of people who just started the game, but the difference between T7 and T8 is something like 5 million SP, which is approximately 3 months at maximum Omega. And the difference between T8 and T9 is another 10 million SP, which is a crazy figure for you to have to climb up, because I think I might be wrong on that figure altogether. It might be 23 million. But nonetheless, there is another crazy figure which takes about 6 months within the game. So it's 3, then it's 6, and then all the way to T10, which is an entire year worth of SP. So 1 year worth of SP or 1 year worth of waiting is a long time to wait, and gaining 500,000 out of those figures does knock it down by quite a bit, because T10 is 43 million. If you take out 500,000 from it in 2 or 3 places, that's 1 million in 2 places. That's Concord Pass and the... Sorry, I've actually lost track of my own words. How brilliant of me. can't believe that I actually missed this. There were things beyond this that I had put into the scope for the complete SP. If you keep using the Concord Pass to try and catch up, you will eventually catch up. I'm not going to deny that there's even a possibility. But overall, trying to catch up with just the SP from those simple objects is not going to be as simple as I have described it. It's actually going to take a lot out of you as an individual to get them to their maximum SP. And thinking about it along the following lanes will actually change everything for you in terms of opinion. If you consider going through all of this in-game for several months just to make $1 million a month on top of your fair bit that you're making. As I said, you make 5 million in 3 months, so you're making $1 million. So that turns your rewards into 2 million per month. That still makes this a 20-month process from start to end. That may not seem that crazy, but trust me when I say it is a massive amount of work for you to do just to get to that point. And it is something which you have to think about as an individual, because it will influence how bad the game plays out for you overall across time. You might have the slight luxury of having 1 or 2 weeks of quick SP gain where you have easy Concord passes, and in that point is a 28, a 28, and a 50 that gives you 100,000. You continue on to the next set in the next week and you make a 28, 28, 57 again. That's 200,000. Then the next week there's only 50,000, so you make it up to 250, right? As you can see, that's week 3, at which point you will earn the weekly reward, not weekly, the challenge reward of 4 levels, which is going to push you up quite a bit because you're at 23 levels. Am I right? You're at 23. No, you're at 33,5. So you're 33 levels up. You're going to add another week to it on top of that for the 4th week. And remember, there's still the last week for the closing, which has a few days in it. It's not a complete week. That's going to give you another few levels to rise up. You're going to go up with that part of the pass. It's going to pull you up to a nice fair level in terms of total aspect towards your Concord Pass. You're going to have a good day at the end of it because you'll be able to reach those crazy figures like I was saying of about 100,000. And there you go, another 100,000 added to your figure. You have 350,000. If you activate the paid Concord Pass, you get a couple 100,000 coming out immediately from the other side, and you get another 10 levels. So you take on another, not 10, 15. So 15 levels up from where you are. You're almost at 55 levels. You've got all that additional SP. I think you get additional gains in terms of the weekly allowances with the paid Concord Pass. And there you go. You get something even further to go for that final stage of the game. That's going to give you a nice driving force forward as one of the as one of the individuals within the game. And that is going to push you up in terms of your SP. Now, altogether, if you're going with the premium Concord Pass, the premium in terms of SP purchase, which is ridiculous, I will not deny, and you're going with Omega Duo with all 4 cognitive chips, with any purchasable chips that you're going with, you will be earning about 1.5 million a month, just over 5 million SP in the 3-month period, right? So 1.5 plus you're going to earn $1 million from the total between SP and Concord program, plus you might earn another 500,000 on top of it, so you're looking at about 4 million a month. In this case, it'll take you 10 months to level out to level 10, and you still aren't done because past level 10 there are still levels you need to achieve, which is going to be another heavy amount of work for you to go through when you reach that final stage of production. So yeah, think about that carefully, you put all of that together, and you've got this crazy amount of work for you to go through just to earn a good level in the game. But do not let that dishearten you, because there might be other ways for you to accelerate your learning overall in the game. SP chips and SP pieces are generally dropped randomly into rapid missions and pieces all along the game. Now I know this here sounds a bit confusing, but you do get chips for basic levels that can be reset at particular dates. You also get events that run from the game developers that grant you extra XP. So at that point, you could be able to make that 10 months turn into something like 5 months. Now obviously this is under heavy spend. These are for premium plus players. For the free-to-play player, there is no premium to get to that level. If you're going to go free-to-play, you're looking at about a minimum 20-month period to reach Omega Duo's level of... you're looking at a minimum of 20 months with Omega Duo and a heavy stocking of ISK within the game, a heavy amount of farming, a very driven drive to get to T10. That is what it's going to take for you to reach T10. And the reason why you need to reach T10 is T10 locks away a lot of the game for you. At T10 is the ability for you to fly carriers and dreadnoughts. It is the ability for you to fly things like freighters. Freighters are the super carriers on the capital ship side, which you might want for yourself if you reach that type of a level. So yeah, you have to think about that in overall totals and think about your place in terms of the game. I hope that this has been a fun video, and just for another reference, later on in the week, considering that this is going to be Thursday's video, on Saturday I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my channel. The giveaway will only last till Saturday. Whatever the conditions that I give on Saturday will run it through all the way into the final endpoint. You just have to take part by watching the videos on my channel, and you will be able to take part in the giveaway. So hope that you all do enjoy, and catch you all in the next one.